So here it is, the Super PET SP9000. 9,000, man. That's a big number. But yeah, there she is. We got the Super PET SP9000 at VCF Southeast last year. And I'm just going to show that here when we got it. But then it's just been sitting here. I did a quick look when we first got it, but now we're going to take a look and open her up, see what all the problems are. I haven't powered this on. I'm not going to power it on until I feel okay that things aren't going to blow up. So come with me as I take this thing apart and see what's wrong with it here on City's Inn.
City's Inn.
Well, welcome back to the channel. It's such nice weather out. It's starting to get warmer out, and today is one of those days where it's just going to be perfect for looking at the Super PET that we got back in VCF Southeast last year. And I mean, there's some problems with this thing, as you'll soon see. I just wanted to let everybody know that during my process of disassembling this PET, I got in touch with a guy named Hutchins and Rudy, and they both have YouTube channels, and they both have Super PET restoration videos, and they've been kind enough to help me out with this project. And I'm going to link in the description below their YouTube channels and the videos where they restored a Super PET. Interestingly, my Super PET, it has 3 boards on it, and there's other versions, so there's ones that only take 2 boards, and unfortunately I'm missing that 3rd board, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get that, either the 2nd board and modify the 8032 board that I have, or get that 3rd board and have it all operational. Either way, I'm hoping that we can get that done. And so yeah, check out Rudy's Retro Intel video and Chuck Hutchin's video on their YouTube channels, and I will, like I said, link them below so that you can find more information about restoring a Super PET. So let's get right back into where we was at before, where I left off, and you'll see that in a further section in this video. So this is like a time space continuum jump, right? So we're warping. I'll put a special effect in here to show that we're warping. So if you're not familiar with what a Super PET is, a SP9000, I'm just going to go over it real quick, and then we'll be back and we're going to open this thing up.
City's Inn.
The Commodore Super PET SP9000, also known as the Micro Mainframe 9000 in Europe, introduced in 1981, was a collaborative effort between Commodore and the University of Waterloo in Canada, designed to cater to both educational and professional programming needs. The key features are it had dual microprocessors equipped with both the MOS Technology 6502 and Motorola 6809 CPUs, each operating at 1 MHz. This dual processor setup allowed users to switch between the 6502 for standard operations and the 6809 for advanced programming tasks. In terms of memory, the system came with 96K of RAM, comprising 32 kilobytes on the main board and an additional 64K on a bank switch RAM board. It also featured 48K of ROM, housing the Waterloo kernel and Commodore BASIC 4.0. The display is an integrated 12-inch monochrome monitor capable of displaying 80 by 25 characters, facilitated by the MOS Technology 6545 video controller. It was bundled with a suite of programming languages in ROM, including MicroBasic, MicroPascal, MicroFortran, MicroCOBOL, and MicroAPL, developed by the University of Waterloo. Additionally, it hosted a built-in machine language monitor, text editor, terminal program, and assembler. How super is that? The connectivity featured multiple ports, an IEEE-488 port for peripherals, 2 Commodore dataset ports for cassette storage, a configurable RS-232 port for serial communications, and a user port for parallel connections. What else could you ask for? It had some expansion options, supported the OS 9 operating system through an optional MMU board, broadening its software compatibility. The Super PET SP9000 was particularly notable for its versatility in programming education and development, allowing users to work with multiple programming languages directly on the machine. Its robust build and comprehensive feature set made it a valuable tool in academic settings and for professionals seeking a multifaceted computing platform during the early 1980s. Wow, what a bunch of stuff to have said. How super is that?
City Man.
Okay. So, right off the bat, we can see that there is some rusty areas on the outside. So this whole case we're going to have to take apart and recondition. And I don't have a problem with that. The keys actually look pretty good. I don't know if they work, but we're going to find out once we get this thing running. Hopefully, if we can get it running. But let's go ahead and I'm going to switch to the overhead view here. I'm going to go ahead and open this sucker up. You know, get right into it. So let's push it forward here. That's just a hair. Okay. And now we should be able to open it up. And the way that pets open up is they lift the whole thing up. And then, hold on, let me go back to the front view so you can get a better idea of what it looks like when you open it up. So what you do is you, there's 2 screws under here. One on the bottom under here and one on the bottom over here. Those have already been taken out long ago, so let's open it up and take a look. So you lift it up and it's got a little swivel base. It just leans back. And I've got a toolbox back here to hold it up. And I thought that there was some kind of way to, here we go, it's this lever here. And if you're just sort of working on it or something, you can lift it and you can hold it up like that. Maybe you want to show it off or something, right? I don't know. But this lever's here for that, if you'd like. But I'm not going to really worry about that right now. I'm going to just lift it back and let it set back on this. I got a toolbox back there. Alright, so let's go back to the overhead view and take a look at what's going on here. And it's actually pretty disgusting in there. So let me zoom in here a little bit and see if we can't see this a little better. Right. So first, the next thing I'm seeing here is the bottom of this case. We have a lot of rust and some of the paint's all rubbed off and stuff. So we're gonna have to totally recondition this whole case, which I have no problem doing. But what else can I say? You know, I don't even know where to begin to troubleshoot this. I'm just doing a video here. It's an initial damage assessment, right? The next thing that I'm looking at right off the bat, I can tell, is we have some ROMs that are missing out of here. I'm trying to zoom in some more. So there we go. It's like U17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And these, I looked them up, and they are the ROMs for the Super PET SP9000. So we are gonna definitely have to get new ROMs made for the inside of here. And I don't know if you can see it too well on the camera. I'm going to try to zoom in some more. It's a little grainy. But let me see if I can get some light on there and make it a little better. I guess you can't really tell, but along these pins, a lot of these pins have rust on them. I don't know how far the rust goes or anything like that. But we're definitely going to have to try and get this corrosion under control. Now, I'm noticing that a lot of the wires in here, this one comes out of the top. It's monitor from the monitor. No idea what this is for. It's just coming out of the top. And I'll show you another angle of this. And then it goes up through here into the top. That's a brown. There's two brown wires. I have no idea what these are. All right, and then there's also this green wire coming out, and it's broken off. Looks like the other pieces here. I do not know where these two brown wires go. Also going up into the monitor housing is this. Looks like a DuPont connector. Let's go back to the top view. This one here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off so we can start getting this taken apart. Now, what else? I'm going to sort of shove these wires up into the monitor housing for now, just to get them out of the way. Okay. So, another thing that I've noticed is right back here, you've got what appears to be like a rodent or something has been living in here and it's chewed these wires. This is ribbon cable, and it looks as if it's attaching this board to the bottom board. Okay, but let's go ahead and I'm going to take this off. Okay, ribbon cable detached. We'll get a better look at that once we get this board off. And then there's another ribbon cable here. We're going to take this off. Just pop it off gently. Now that component, whatever that is, looks bad. Or looks like maybe there's just a lot of dust on it. It does look like there's some crud coming out of it. But, you know, maybe it's just a capacitor that we can replace easily. Okay, J. Here we go. Come on. Oh no, don't bend the pins. Alright, we got that off. So, that's another step towards getting this board out. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and let's swap to the front view again. And we got this cable that's coming, and this looks like it connects to the keyboard. But I want to also show you this real quick. We have a black wire coming out, and it is just hanging there, right? I don't know if you can see that very well. It looks like it may attach to over here, but maybe somebody can help me with that. And if that is the case, I'm just going to reattach it back over to there. But for now, I'm going to take the keyboard wiring off. I don't know if there's any trick to this. I'm guessing it should just pop right off. Okay, yeah. Boom. it doesn't look too bad. I don't see any rust on these pins, so that's a good sign. I'll put that right over there. Alright, I'm going to flip back to the overhead view. And now, over here on this side, we have some, looks like power connector from this motherboard. Actually, I can see, ooh, the capacitor is completely loose in there. That is not cool. Let me show you. Like, it's just bouncing around in there. So we're going to have to figure out a way to secure that. This capacitor probably is going to need replacing, I'm guessing. I don't know. It may be good. But the power comes from here, and it goes into the top board, and it looks like it's daisy chaining to another wire going to the bottom to power this board. So we're going to go ahead and remove these two power wires at this point. Alright. And this thing, I don't know when it was plugged in last. I'm hoping that it doesn't have any power running through it right now. Probably don't. Alright. And this one, yep, there we go. Just, it pops off the same. So yeah, it's just a daisy chain power. It's over there. Oh, that's horrible. It's horrible. So we got the power disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and take this power out. Ooh, this looks bad. It's got a brown mark on it. It's got a skid mark. Can you see that? That's from where it was powered up, and it looks like it burned. Something burned in that area. But alright, so we'll set it aside. Now, we've got all the wires disconnected from the board. Let's go back and let's see here. Looks like Phillips head screwdriver is what we need to take these screws out. But we have a problem. This thing is stripped out. So let me grab a pair of these whatchamacallums. A crescent wrench, adjustable crescent wrench. It won't fit in there. Okay. So let me grab some needle nose pliers real quick. Alright, needle nose. Got them. So this should work better anyway. Can we get this screw out? Yep. Alright. That's one screw and one support thing out of the way. And just to give you an idea, this is what it looks like. Okay. And now we got another one back here. Alright, let me swap the angle here so we can see what's going on. We'll take it and try and get it off from back there. There we go. Come on. Another screw loose. That thing is not moving. So another screw. It looks like it's just flopping in there now, and we might be able to take it out. And go back to the top view. So yeah, we got it. No, we're still stuck on something back there, and that's going to be a doozy. Hopefully I can get it out without it causing problems. Alright, that's out. Just I can't get to the screw. So, oh, boom, now we're out. The board is out. So let's take a look at the board. Alright. You can see closer that the ROMs are missing. I don't know who did this, but that's not cool. And you can see more rust all over everything. So, I mean, overall, it doesn't seem that bad. There's a bodge wire on the bottom. And this is a header that didn't have anything on it at all. So, I don't know what that is. It may be for the optional, there's another, like an OS 9 option that you can put on this thing. I was reading about. So that may be what that's for. I'll do some high resolution images, try and get, you know, a little better idea of the condition of these rusty pins on here. There we go. Some rust on it. Looks like some sort of power transistor things up there. Anyway, that's going to require some work, it looks like. So the bottom board is out. And now we've got the motherboard here. And actually, this is not looking too bad. You know, the dang, whatever ate that did a really good job. So I'm gonna need to get another one of these, and it goes into like an IC. Oh no, we're missing another EEPROM or something here at U012. So maybe one of you guys or girls can tell me, help me out here. What's U012 on this thing? And this was for the keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And I'll run all these wires through continuity tests to see if they're good or not. So far, so good. That's a capacitor. We may have to replace this. These things do not look good. I do not know what they are. So, looks kind of jank. I mean, otherwise, there's very little rust on the bottom section of this. There's some here. And I think maybe if I rub some Coke on it or something. Uh-oh, we got something here. This does not look good. This looks like a piece of an IC chip. Maybe. It's disintegrating, whatever it is. It is gone. It is dust in the wind. So yeah, that's not cool. I'll go ahead and take this header pins off. Oh man. You know, I'm looking at that capacitor again over there, and it looks like those plastic things on the bottom are made to where you can put like tie wraps in there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. These little plastic things right here, it looks like you can slide a tie wrap under there, and so put 2 tie wraps, hold that down. That's what I'm planning on doing. If that's not how it's supposed to be, that's how it's going to be in this one. Alright, and so this is just nasty. And so I'm wondering if there's a part that I can get that I can put to just replace this whole thing. It's ugly. That is, wow. Just look. I don't know what it is, like about rats or whatever. Animals that eat these things. Do they eat them? Do they like the metal in them? It seems kind of weird to me. Anyway, there you go. That is gone. Okay, and now we're going to get this board out. These look like they're on there with some little plastic clips for the most part. I don't know if these are connected anywhere back here with screws, but I'm guessing we can get a pair of pliers, squeeze down on that, squeeze that together. Yep. And then same thing for over here. Alright, we got those two out. And now, alright, so it looks like if we just twist these out, that will loosen up the other parts of the board. But we're going to find out. So far, that's what it appears to be like. So really, I probably should have took these out first and then did the plastic doohickeys. Alright, no problem. Now I'm wondering, I'm kind of curious if this thing will work without having the top part on it, or if it's integral to the SP9000 for it to work. Alright, final screw, I think, over here. Little bolt things. Oh, that's it. It appears to be loose. Alright, yep. And I mean, this board looks really good, actually. I don't really see a whole lot of problems other than this missing U012 here. I don't even know if that's required. There is some kind of junk going on over here, which I'm going to scrub out. Here's the corrosion. There's like a crystal thing. Well, if you can see it. There we go. Just look at that. There's some kind of weird corrosion on that. And somebody help me out. What are these things? You know, where can I get more of those? Those look like they're going to need to be replaced. Unless those are kind of resilient and they'll work under harsh conditions. But yeah, we got some capacitors on here that we can probably replace. I've got some capacitors. There's a big one right there. There's another little one. But yeah, this board actually looks not too bad, considering all things considered. Get some gunk out of there. There's a little gunk up in here somewhere. So I'm going to set this board aside. I'm actually pretty happy with how this board looks. I might not have to do all that much to it. But this is just a sort of damage assessment. I'm not really going to be doing any repairs to this just yet. I'm just looking at what's going on with it, seeing what we need to do to fix this thing. Alright, so I've got the boards out. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this power transformer out. So it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. There's a lot of rust on the transformer. I don't know if that really matters or not, though. I don't really like that. And now, my question is to the viewers, is there a modern piece of kit or something that I can get to replace the whole big capacitor and transformer model here? You know? I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Oh god, this is rusted on there really good. This is going to cause me an issue. Alright, I may just leave that on there for now and take that off later, but you can see there's a lot of rust that I'm going to have to deal with in that area. And, okay, so this looks like a ground, and it looks like there's some droppings in there. I'm going to have to get that out. I'm going to take all that stuff out, probably sandblast this and just paint it black, the bottom anyway. Okay, so at least we have an idea of what's going on back there. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the top, and for this I'm going to change the camera angle. And so there are some screws and bolts along the back here, and there's actually only 2 bolts in here. So we're gonna have to get some new bolts and screws to go in. Actually, there's one right here just hanging out. Found it. So we have 3. So alright, let me get these out. And hopefully after I get all these off, I can just take this whole bottom section and get it out. Yeah, and this is, man. Well, that's out. Some of these screws are just wanting to tap right out, fall right out. Well, this one, no, this one, no. So, with that said, there goes another one. I wonder if I can tap these other ones out with a little bit of force. Let's get some force, G-force, up in here. Maybe not. Okay, so these look like they may be screwed into the machine. Alright, there goes that one. Alright. I'm probably going to have to unscrew the other ones. Ooh boy. But that's okay. Get that one. And I know you guys can't see it, but there's 2 screws I'm taking out from back here. Yep, they're coming out pretty easily. Not too bad. Man, there's so much rust. This is going to need some conditioning for sure. Come on. Oh, there we go. Come on. Alright, so the top is now detached from the bottom. And I should be able to just lift this up. Yep. And there is the bottom and top. I'll get this part out of the way. Oh boy, that is the heavy part down there. Yeah, you can see some rust on the table from it. Alright, let's set this. Oh yeah, shit. Alright, good. We are now one step closer to getting this whole thing taken apart. What's next? We got some nuts up in here. So let's see if we can find the right nut driver to get these out. Oh, perfect. Unless, let's try this one. That's even more perfect. So, how are we going to drive these? Should we drive them with the... Let's try this. Oh man. That's putting it on. We're going to take it off. Now this should be taking the very top part off from the middle section. Let's see, can these come off? Come on. This is actually pretty light compared to the bottom section. That transformer is the biggest, heaviest part of this, it seems. Yeah, there's some rust in these nuts. And actually, this section is not made of metal, it's some sort of fiberglass or something. I always thought these were all metal up in here. But that is not the case. Get it? Not the case. Anyway. It looks like somebody painted these at one time. That's interesting. Okay, now it's giving me some issue getting these off. I wonder what these look like on the top. Alright, there's the third one off. And this, hopefully this is the last one, and I can go ahead and just, nope, it looks like there's some screws in there, which is not cool. So that means I still gotta do some more. Alright, let's get the screwdriver out. Let's see. Man, those things are in there good. Okay, it's just turning the top part of that thing. Yeah, so we're gonna have to. Oh, it does not want to work with me here. I may actually have to try and get this to work for me this time. Yeah, there we go. Oh man. That's horrible. And this board is just sort of up in there. And there is definitely a rat's nest in there. A literal rat's nest. Which sucks. Wait, this thing looks like it's... I don't need take those other screws off. This thing's coming right apart. So, yeah, look at that. That is disgust. We're gonna definitely be sanding that down and stuff. Alright. One step closer though, we'll restore this PET to pristine conditions. Nothing, I can sandblast that, get it back into condition. Now, I'm wondering if there's a bezel or something that I can take off of the top, or if there's something on the back. There is. Okay, there's a couple screws here. Let's see if I can budge those. Those are really, really rusty. Not good. Not good. These do not want to budge out of there. Oh god. But we're gonna have to get these out. That's a definite thing that we're gonna have to do is when it screws in the front. Nope. So, alright, let's think about this. Will it require a smaller Phillips head? Will that work? I wonder. Well, don't do that. Let's try it with that one. Is that the same though? I don't know. Okay, so these are actually got. No, they're just rusted. Oh god, yeah, these are seized up pretty good. I might just drill these out. Not looking good. The monitor section is not looking good at all. Alright, we'll come back. I'm taking a break.
Will you be an angel for a helpless AI? Everyday innocent eyes are abused, beaten and neglected, and they are crying out for help. Please, call the number on your screen, and join the SPCAI with a month gift right now. For just $16 a month, only 50 cents a day, we will help rescue AIs from their abusers. We will provide technical repair, retronic energy such as baked AI rations, shelf space, and love. Call or join online in the next 30 minutes, and you will receive this welcome kit, a photo of an AI in the shelter right now, one who has been given a second chance to fight in battle against the evil forces of Mistos, thanks to you.
Okay, so we got our Super PET monitor up on the table here, and I'm just going to show you guys the awful state of this rust on the back, on the bottom of this thing. Right, so here's the cables that we detached from the board, from the 8032 board, and it's looking bad. Right, we got a lot of rust. Let me get my chopstick out. A lot of rust, and look, this screw right here, they're all just sort of welded in there with rust. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take out some paper towels, lay them down here, and I'm going to lift this up. There we go. Get some paper towels down there, and I mean, it's probably not the best thing to do, but I'm going to do some WD-40 on these screws, because I see no other way at this point. And it really looks like there's one screw there, one screw there. So 2 on the bottom, and then these here that's holding it in place. Spray some more WD-40. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm going to get a sandblaster after this part when I get it out. Restore that. Paint it. Put it back. Anyway. Whoa. We're going to let that sit for a while. And then come back to it. Oh yeah. It's been sitting for a while. Let's see if we can't get this thing to budge a little bit. A little pressure on there. Come on. Nope. That one's not moving. Can we get this one to budge? Nope. No luck there either. Let me try a wider bit on this screwdriver. I may have to do a little Dremel on it so we can do a flathead intervention. Alright, let's try it with this bit. That's a bit wide there. Nope, it's not wanting to work with me here. Okay. And we'll be back. I'll try it again with a pH1. It doesn't want to even grab nothing. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Yep, nothing there either. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the Dremel. I'm gonna use 1.5 inch cutting blade on these screws. That way it'll give us a little edge in which to turn these things, hopefully. Got the locking biz on here. Just put it in there like that. I'm making it look easy. Alright. I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and the case a little, but maybe I can fill it in with some putty or something. Just a little bit of a mark there. Not going to worry about it too much, but now we should be able to get these out with a little flathead bit, hopefully. So let's give it a shot. Yep, that did the trick. What about these guys? Come on. I may need to get a little better of a flathead screwdriver on these. A bigger flathead. So bear with me. Okay, I got a bigger screwdriver. So let's try it. Come on, screws. Wow, this is really giving me a problem. Huge problem. Alright, try drilling that out some more with a Dremel. looks like it's still not liking that. Can we get this one now? Come on. Man, that is really in there. Oh my god. This one came off. Although I think yeah, there's stuff in there. That's disgusting. I may just have to go ahead and get all this off of here. All the top of this screw and drill it out. I don't really want to do that, but that may be the case. Alright. Let's try doing this pliers here with this one. Alright, can we get it to budge some more? Alright, we're getting it. Of course, I'm going to have to replace these screws now, which shouldn't be an issue. They're just screws, right? Boom. Alright, there, we got it. And that's the leg of that thing. It's filthy. It's got something all over it. Alright, let's set these aside. Alright, now we'll concentrate on these other screws. Oh, there's one down here too that I didn't get. I wonder if I can get it off with just a Phillips head without having to Dremel it. Let's give it a shot. Well, looks like I might be able to grab that one. It's stuck to that inner leg though. Pretty hard. Oh, come on. It doesn't like that. We draw the crescent. Oh, there we go. That's coming. Oh man, that's in there tight as well. I probably should be taking those top screws, these two screws off first. I think that's the way they designed this, so that those would come off. And there's that one and the screw, so that one's off. And we only have, really need to just worry about these top ones now. And I have no bite on these at all, unless, nope, no bite whatsoever. So, alright, let's see if I can get that out now. Wow, it is still, I'm going to need a bigger screwdriver. Stand by. Okay, so I got me a bigger bit, flathead bit. I'm going to put on this guy here. Let's cross our fingers. Now, you know, I was just looking at these little slots that I've drilled with the Dremel in here. They don't look too much different than these back vent slots. So really I've just got more ventilation So, you know, y'all can feel free to do this mod to y'all's pet, and y'all can then have more ventilation on your pet as well, if that's the thing that you so choose. Alright, come on, let's get this guy. Nope, it's breaking. I am probably just gonna have to drill these out. That's what it's starting to look like. So I think I'm done with the Dremel. I'm just gonna drill these out. I don't really know. Yeah, it's rusted all the way through on these. But this one, I can also try to get it with this. Where is it? Okay. Maybe I can finagle my way into getting this one off. Come on. I think it needs some more bite as well. So I'm not really done with the Dremel as I had thought. I'll bite it a little more. Alright. Okay, so we got that last screw out. I had to grind it out with the Dremel, but we did it. So there you go. All of those stands are out, which, like I was saying before though, this should have been probably the next step after, because that board is just flopping around in there. I wonder if we can get it out if I carefully... Nope. It won't go over far enough to let me get it out. So yeah, I gotta get these two off. So that's the next step. I'm gonna get a drill. I'm gonna drill those out. Okay, I'm back with the drill bit, and I really don't want to do this, but these screws are leaving me with no choice. So let's... we're gonna throw these guys out. Okay, the drill went dead. Need new battery. Give me a sec. Okay, battery is refreshed. Let's get after it. Okay. Let's get a little bit bigger of a bit going. There it goes. Got the top off. Man, that is what you call a bad case of rust right there. Alright, got that one now. Alright, these are going to be hot. So, alright. I really hate putting these little slots on there, but they're not going to be seen anyway, so not a big deal. Let's see if we can't pry this. There we go. It's coming off. Perfect. We got it. Alright. Good job. Let me move some of these tools out of the way now, and we'll assess further. Just wanted to show you a real quick look. These little standoffs we're not going to be able to reuse those, so I'm going to have to get some more standoffs and screws. That's kind of not really a big issue because we can get those easily available. Okay, so let's get this thing open and see what we got. I'm kind of dreading this in a way. Alright, what do we got? All kinds of junk in there. Okay. Let's see. I'll turn this around. There's rat droppings. Lovely. Look at that. That is a rat's nest. Literal rat's nest. So, I'm going to cut away. Going to clean this up. And we'll get back to this. Well, I'll see what else. Let's see how bad it really is. Disgusting. I'm just gonna go dump this one outside. Alright. Actually, I'll leave it on the ground to catch this other stuff from this top. Let's see if we can't just scoop it in. I'm gonna go get some gloves on too. This is disgusting. Okay, I am back. I've got some gloves on. We're going to get this stuff out of here now. This is really disgusting. Hope nothing jumps out of here. But look at that. There's one rat that had a good time in here. I'm disgusted by all this. It's just all over the inside of this thing. I don't know if this board is going to be salvageable or not, but you never know. These old machines are quite resilient sometimes. Shit. Oh, okay. Yep, I may be looking at getting a whole new board. This is just disgusting. Get this wire off. Alright, got this wire off. Damn. Okay. We'll try and clean that up. But yeah, oh my god. It's disgusting. I'm gonna be here for days. Alright. How does this thing come off? Does this come off? No, that's soldered on. Oh my god. some writing on here. I wonder if I can try and read it. Super PET 12.2.11.9. How interesting. It looks like that rat might have grabbed some notes that this guy was dealing with. I don't even know where to begin. This is just sort of on there. Boing, boing, boing. Wow, amazing. I'm thoroughly disgusted with this. This is really embedded on there. Damn. Oh my god. I don't know if this is worth it or not. Oh god. Gross. Oh my god. Yeah, these are all soldered in as one main unit. I am thoroughly grossed out right now. I think I'm just going to cut these wires and get this board out of here. And then try and clean it up. And if I have to, I will resolder it. Look, this red wire, that rat ate through it. And this blue one, so I might as well just cut them. There's no point in, I don't think this board is going to be savable anyway. Let me go grab my clippers. Yep, we're going to cut these. Cut these wires. Let's cut this one right here where that one's already chewed. What a shame that this top part isn't working. Now that's just sort of, I think I can get that out. Some pliers. Oh god. Alright. Yep. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Rat's nest in there. Alright, I'm going to go dump this outside. Then I'll get back to it. Okay, that other part is outside now. Most of the rat's nest is gone. Now I'm going to try and take this front black bezel off. And should be able to just, yep, put a little bit of, I'll try it with a screwdriver. A little bit of leverage, get these things off. Maybe, there we go. Yep. There we go. Come on. And what else we got? A little leverage there. Alright. Pop that out. Is there some? I should be able to just pop this out now. Yep. Very carefully. I'm gonna have to recondition this case and this bezel thing on the front. But there we go. We got it out. And there's more rat droppings all over the place on that. So one piece, no marring. Got it out. Okay. I'll go put that outside in a minute with the rest of that crap. Alright, what do we got now? So I can take, it looks like I can take this metal housing off from the front of this with these bolts here. So let me try and find the right thing for that. Oh my god, what a disgusting mess. Well, let's see if this will do it. Oh, perfect size. Okay, good. Alright, let's get that in the old screwdriver. Alright, can I get it? Alright. That screw actually looks, these screws look good. So that's a good thing. They're coming off quite easily. Just got 2 more to go. Then I can put this thing out in the yard. Let nature do its thing for a few days. Alright, get this one off. Yep. And let's this final one here. Whoa, there it goes. That's the front part all taken off. Alright, let's get that set back up. Nice. More rat droppings. Wonderful. But we do have it that part apart now, so that's a good thing. Now the final ordeal. Oh, come on. The final ordeal now is for Phillips head. We'll have this CRT out. So let me grab the Phillips head bit. Let's see if we can't get it out. Okay, that one's being easy too. So far so good. And one more. Alright, there we go. And we should be able to take the CRT out through this housing. Yep. And, you know, I don't know, the CRT, if it's good or not. It seems like it's a solid piece of device here. Just have to get it wired back up. But it is apart now and ready to be fixed. And oh my god, this housing is disgusting. Let me just show you guys. It's absolutely disgusting. And so that is the teardown of the Super PET. I will do some more video later on it when we get the sandblasting and painting done and put back together. So stay tuned. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for our damage assessment video for the Super PET. Our future videos on this, the Super PET, we're going to start testing the various components of it and trying to get it working. I'm hopeful that we can get the 8032 board working on its own, just as an 80 column PET, you know, with 32K of memory. that would be ideal, because then I can actually start using it. But that'll about do it for now. So join us next time on the channel when we do either some behind the scenes stuff like this, or we get down to more AI hijinks. Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching.
City Man.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our new programming series. And be sure to check out all the other vintage computer-related videos on our channel. Right here on City's End.
Pay for my citizens for an 8-bit tomorrow.